The Londonpreneur Show with Michelle Carter.
This week's episode is brought to you by 121 Studios, London's premier community hub for media arts, education, collaboration, and production. Also thanks to Kate Childerhose of Edward Jones Financial and Tech Alliance. If you're starting a business here in London, they're here to help. If you want to find out more about these sponsors, please check us out at londonpreneurs.com. Welcome to another episode of the Londonpreneur Show, where I interview other entrepreneurs here in the lovely London, Ontario, Canada. And today's guest is Beth Sutherland, also known here as the Empowerment Coach. Welcome, Beth.
Thank you.
So what gets you out of bed in the morning?
Unlimited possibilities. What's going to happen today? Who can I help? What's going to go on?
And when did you decide to start your own business?
2006.
And why?
I had decided I'd had enough of the corporate sales game. I didn't want to play anymore. So
you used to be in corporate sales?
Yes.
What did you used to do?
Information services,
okay.
IT. I sold computers. I sold word processors before computers, so that's dating me a little bit.
So tell me a bit more about Beth Sutherland, the Empowerment Coach. What kind of services do you offer?
Well, I am a little bit different than a life coach. A life coach typically does a lot of just talking. Mm-hmm. I have some added services on top of that counseling type talk, I guess we want to call it, mm-hmm. And work with energy. So I have taken years of courses, neuro-linguistic programming from the 80s, and that was helping me in sales, and I understand kind of what those thoughts do. So I take that into consideration and how it impacts the brain and impacts our ability to take action.
So what can someone expect for a first consultation with you?
Well, typically I do a free half hour. Sometimes it's a little longer than a half hour. But I typically hear what the person is going through, kind of what they need from me, and then I will propose to them what I think can help them. Sometimes it's sending them somewhere else. I'm not the be-all and end-all for everyone. But typically I can hone in on a specific thought that is stopping them from doing what they want to do, mm-hmm. or something that they've come to me for.
And have you done a lot of training for this position? Or?
Lots of training.
Like
yes.
What kind of training have you taken?
Well, I am an NLP practitioner from the 80s, and so I've continued kind of my studies with regards to the brain. So I've done a lot of work with brain gym and how the brain functions, energy courses and sales courses, of course, with energy attached to them. So like the Brian Tracy or Zig Ziglar or Wayne Dyer.
Zig Ziglar as well.
Zig Ziglar, if you believe. I loved Zig Ziglar.
That would be great for those of us who are in business to learn some of that coaching side as well.
Absolutely. So I kind of figured out who could I help. And I knew right off the bat I could help salespeople because we all trip ourselves up from insecurities and fears and being rejected and, oh my God, I have to make that phone call and what if
cold
they say
calling.
no, and exactly. So I've learned how to get over that. I've learned how to help people focus on what they want versus what they don't want. I love picking up the phone now. People say that that the self-talk scares them. My self-talk says, pick it up, because it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
And you can help people bring on that self-talk.
Absolutely.
So you, in one way or another, you can help people become more profitable in their business.
Absolutely. That is one of the first things that I tell them, because whatever they're focusing on is focusing on them. If they're coming in here, typically it's because they're not getting what they want. So if they aren't making the money that they want, they're focusing on the wrong angle, and I help them switch that. And usually within typically I suggest 6 sessions for people to come in. And usually before those 6 sessions are up, they've already found something, figured out something, made that money back because of what we've created and changing the blockage.
Wow. So yeah, your phone might be ringing off the hook now. People have needing the help to get that self-talk. Mm-hmm. So let's go back a bit more to the brain gym that you mentioned. Yeah. For those who have never heard of it, what would you describe it as?
Well, we all have a dominance of our brain, our eyes, hand, ears. We all function hardwirely, is the way to say it, which is kind of complicated, but in a hardwired way, we all have a dominance. So I learned from a young age that I didn't function the way other people functioned. And it took me until I took NLP to get something diagnosed for me so that I could understand what was going on. And so basically it was proposed to me or shown to me that I am right brain, right hand, right foot, right, everything's dominant on the right, which we know is driven from the left brain, everything, opposite wise. And what I did not know when I was a kid, it would have really helped, is that when you're under stress, your non-dominant brain shuts down 75%. So for
75%?
75%.
Wow.
So for me, I'm dealing with 25% logic when it comes to writing, seeing, hearing, running away or staying or whatever it is. And so I was under panic a lot of times, and that's something else that I've learned based on kind of being in that panic mode. I couldn't read and I couldn't do some of the things that people could do. So I took on more panic, and then I took on more panic. And as soon as you take on all that panic, you can't function.
Yeah.
And so that would stop me and start all that negative talk about I must be stupid because I can't do this. If I had have known one other little function in my life, which is I have a transposed brain, 5% of the world has it, which is I have music and let's look at it. Music, for instance, is supposed to be on your right brain. It's on my left brain.
Oh.
So I've never been a real music fan because it doesn't resonate in the right brain, right? So that would have been something to, if I can tell people now that how do you feel about music, and find out sometimes if they're transposed. But I also have math and language on my right side. So there's no logic there. So math will never add up for me. So teachers would tell me I wasn't trying. Teachers were telling me I wasn't putting the effort in. And there was just no way I could do it. And they didn't know. Right?
They didn't.
They didn't know. So I took 13 weeks of brain gym exercises and changed my brain to whole brain thinking, and my life changed.
Yeah. So you can help others determine what side of the brain is dominant.
Absolutely.
And give them the tools to be able to reach that whole brain.
Absolutely.
And you work with kids too.
I love kids because I know that if I had somebody working with me at grade 3, I knew grade 3 I was falling apart.
Oh,
And
wow.
nobody else knew.
And now
Now I could say, if you can get to those kids, get them doing exercises, get that whole brain thinking in, even before they even know what's going on, they don't have to even deal with any of that.
And then enjoy school so much more.
Yeah, absolutely. And life, right?
Yeah.
So even for instance, for a couple, and this is my situation, so I can say this, I have dominant right ear, which goes into my logic. When I'm under stress, the logic is shut down 75%. My husband will say something to me, and I will get upset because I've heard something totally different. Because
Really?
It's logically not making sense to me.
So couples therapy too.
Absolutely. So I can say to him, well, you said this to me. And he'll go, no, I didn't. I didn't say that. But that's how it felt.
Yeah.
So it's those things that people don't realize that we're even doing. But now that I know, I can say, okay, this is what I heard. That's probably not what you said. And not get upset about it.
To know that there's a cure for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost.
Yeah, exactly. And awareness.
Awareness.
So that's one of the things that I would say that is like utmost importance to coaching, is being aware of the thoughts that are going on that are creating these patterns.
Absolutely.
So as soon as we're aware, we can no longer be not aware.
Right.
You
Exactly.
can't turn it off.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So where would you like to be 5 years from now?
Well, 5 years from now, I'm constantly looking at what else can I be doing? I love variety. I love change. I was in IT. You have to be every 3 months changing, or you're
the
a
expectation.
dinosaur, right? So I got used to change, and I like it. So I have created some businesses. I'm still actually creating some businesses with other people that I find that we work well together to kind of go to the next step. I'm working on an online success source. So that's something that it's going to be exciting because I don't really know as much online stuff as I would like, but I know that that's an ability to reach out to the world easily, and I think everybody would benefit from this information if I could make it more accessible.
Yeah, absolutely.
The world is a better place.
Yeah, exactly.
So kind of that's what that's one of the projects. I love talking to big groups, so I'm doing a lot of sales calls myself so that I can get into big organizations to do some training, coaching.
Very good. Do you have a story you can share with us, the best moment you've had so far in business?
Oh, dear. The best moment so far.
Anything that comes to the top of your head?
Well, I think that, I think it's the texts. This is maybe sound silly, but it's the texts that come in after the client has either seen me for a half an hour for their free session and say they can't believe how different they feel, or they text me and just say life is a good day, having a good day when, they haven't had one for 10 years. So
wow.
It's those kind of things, it's just that the reward that you're getting from the person's acknowledging that they've changed.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for coming to the show with me.
Thank you.
Do you have any other announcements or things you'd like to share with the audience?
No, other than I've been doing Mind Over Weight for since 2008. It's one of the programs that I have created, and I know that Oprah and Deepak are putting a big effort forward. Mm-hmm. And, I just want to remind everybody that there's other programs out there, not that I'm competing with them, but there's always a specific seed thought that has created whatever the issue is. So that's where my difference is, and I know that is something I'm going to be really promoting and through the internet as well, as opposed to just word of mouth.
Can't wait to hear about it.
Great.
Where can we find more information about you?
BethSutherland.com.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for watching this week's episode. Make sure to like and subscribe. Love to hear your comments, and we'll see you soon. Thanks again for watching this episode. If you want to make sure the Londonpreneur Show keeps producing up to 2 episodes a week, be sure to check out my Patreon campaign at patreon.com/thelondonpreneur. This way I can raise some extra funds to help with production and to find some more interesting people to interview.